G'day and welcome to Black Opal Direct. My name's Justin and this is my son Saxon.
How you doing?
I'm good. A couple of weeks ago we had a lesson on how to cut an opal and Saxon did a really good job at polishing a piece of potch. And while potch is nice to learn on, it's not really a piece of colour. So what I've got today is a piece of colour for Saxon. And you're going to let me know what you think you're going to do without any guidance. So what do you reckon?
All right. So after 2 minutes of vigorously studying this stone, I've come to the conclusion that I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'll give it a crack anyway. So I've got the gem torch to start off with. Going to have a look for any sand inclusions in the gem itself. And it looks like it's pretty clean and it shouldn't cause us too much trouble, but it's pretty deep, the colour, so I should maybe be able to cut a bit of a high dome stone out of it. I don't think it'll be very big, probably end up being about a carat, knowing my talent. But we'll give it a crack anyway. But
so with the stone, because it's got a back on it like it has, what do you think you would do with that back?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I want you to figure that out first. I mean, is it potch or is it sand or is it something that you would want to keep on the opal, or whether you want to take it off?
I'll take it off a little bit, but it looks like a lot of it will stay. It's something that I'll probably figure out while doing it. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, do you want my opinion?
Yep.
All right. Because this piece is nice crystal opal sitting on top of some sandstone, you want to take all the inclusions off, which is all the sandstone. So you've got yourself a nice crystal and just play of colour. So it'll be a nice glassy stone. That's what I would do. The back of this stone, because it's sandy, you can break it off and it's not very sturdy. So if that was to sit on the back of a stone and it got set, it could break the sandstone off the back. So I would be cleaning it fully off and make it a nice full silica gem.
So would you recommend that I do that first or towards the end? So should I start shaping it first or start with getting all the sand off so that I know what I actually have to work with?
Yeah, you take the sand off first.
All right,
Let's go and have a look.
Sweet.
When you first start out on a rubbing wheel with a piece of opal, it takes a long time for your fingers to be able to hold the stone naturally and easily with a flowing motion. And I wouldn't get too frustrated if it doesn't work straight away, because it can take many, many years of practice. Saxon's doing really well here by using all of his fingers to control the stone. Sometimes you can have a finger leading astray or hanging out and it's not doing anything or giving the stone any help. And that's really important that you keep fingers as close as possible to the stone so that you can control it. There's also the challenge of wearing your fingers down. The more you touch the wheel, the more you wear your skin off. And you can bump your knuckles, which hurts quite a bit, but more to the point, if you just keep rubbing all day long, you will find that the points of your fingers start to wear away to the point where you can start bleeding after a while if you are cutting all day long. So there is a bit of a challenge there as well to be able to master that. You'll notice here that Saxon's left pointer finger disappears. Now his right pointer finger is disappearing. And what he's trying to do is avoid touching the wheel with his fingers. But if you become good at this game, you need those pointer fingers more than anything to be able to control the stone. Because this is taking quite a while, fast forwarded this bit just so that we can get through the shaping game. It is taking Saxon a little bit longer than it would a normal opal cutter, only because he's just beginning, but he's getting a really good shape and a really good idea of the best way to cut this stone. And while it's not perfect, it will be good enough to put on a dopstick for what we're doing. One thing that might be obvious to some but not to others is using the right dopstick size for the stone that you are about to cut. So if you have a too big a dopstick and you put a stone on the top of it and the wax and everything sits around the outside of the stone, you can't control polishing the edges very well. So we've got quite a few stone dopsticks here to choose from. And Saxon, which one do you reckon we should use for this size stone?
I'm gonna go for the smallest one. Would that be the right choice?
Correct.
All right, let's do it then.
Alrighty. I really don't need to say much here. I think you already know what this means to me. Might want to do the dopstick first.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Oh, wrong hand. Get ready to wet your fingers.
That looks very hot.
Yeah, it is extremely hot. I usually stop before it starts to bubble. As soon as the wax starts to bubble, it's going to stick to your fingers no matter whether it's wet or not. So yeah, you're good. You're done. You've done great. You don't need to do anymore.
Push it up a little bit more.
Beautiful. That's good.
And the dust. Stone again.
Stop with the too much. So I reckon with the wax, just push it back up, it'll be right. With the wax, you only need to heat it half as much as you did.
Alright.
Looking straight down at the stone to get your shape is of utmost importance when you are shaping a stone. Saxon has heard me say this so many times that he didn't even need me to say it to him. He knew what to do straight away. Even though Saxon's cutting style is a little bit awkward, he has the basis of a very good cutter. So he has the chance or the potential to become very good. And if you started cutting like this, then give yourself a pat on the back, because you also have the potential to be able to cut really well. The dome is wonky on one side, so you'll need to come in and take more off one side than the other. Once you get that shape perfect, yep. So right now, you're still taking stone off the whole stone as you're turning. You want to just take a little bit off the lumpy side. So instead of going round and round and round, just take a little bit off the lumpy side. Yep, like that. And then you should be able to get a nice dome. Alright. You happy with that? Beautiful. Nice high dome again. Like the last stone you cut, You're getting a beautiful dome. Alright, I don't think you need to do too much more. Because by the sounds of what I can hear, how much you're pushing on that wheel is telling me that you're taking probably a little bit too much for where you are at the stages of cutting.
Alright. Move to the next wheel then, or go lighter?
I reckon we move to the next wheel. Good to go. Instantly I've noticed that when you started on the side, you didn't actually go right down to the bottom. You want to go right down to the back. Yep. And that way you get rid of those scratches right from the bottom all the way up. This little cutting session is the beginning of a very, very long journey into opal, and to be able to cut gemstones from different opal fields and cut them differently, because every opal field is very, very different, and to know how and why opals cut the way they do is some of the biggest challenges you'll ever face when it comes to gemstone cutting. And shapes and polishes are some of the easiest things to do. So while it is great that Saxon is on the journey, he has a lot to learn about everything that my dad taught me when we worked together buying and selling and cutting opal. Alright, what do you think? How well do you think you did?
I think the dome's pretty good on it. At the bottom it comes in a bit. Maybe could have done something better there with that little inclusion there, but yeah, I'm not sure.
You're pretty happy with it?
Thoughts on it? Yeah.
Well, I think you've got a really nice dome. You've put a really great polish on it. There's not a lot of scratches, or if any scratches on that nice dome. The back of the stone, because it's so uneven, it looks like it's out of shape, but it's actually not too bad. What I always like to do is make sure that that back is even and the sides are even before I've even put it on a dop stick, so that once I've finished a stone, I can see that it's perfectly shaped. That back, because it undulates up and down, it makes the stone have the appearance of not having a nice shape. But once you do the back on it and even it up, which is a little bit harder to do when it's wonky, but when it's even, it's easier. But once we get that back done, it'll look like a nice round gem.
So I obviously put it on the dop stick earlier on because I don't have the skills with my fingers, but I suppose that just shows the difference between a beginner cutter and someone that has a bit of experience like yourself.
Well done. That's very good.